is James Mathers at NAB 2018 for the Digital Cinema Society and New Bay Media. I'm here with Nicholls from Codex, and he's going to tell us about some new technology that they're working on.
Sure, hi there. So at NAB 2018 this year, we're showcasing a couple of new products that we're working on. So the first one is a desktop-based NAS system. So that's the MediaVault NAS that we have here. That's a system that comes in 48 terabyte, 64 terabyte, and 96 terabyte capacities. So that's a ZFS-based file system, 2-disk redundancy. It's got 4 10 gig E connections on the back, so you can network that direct into a device like a iMac Pro, for example. So we're using that as shared storage here to demonstrate a kind of production workflow. The other product that we're showcasing is a plugin for Final Cut Pro, beg your pardon, and that comes with a control panel as well. So the plugin is called Synth, and then the panel is called Keys. So I can demonstrate that for you now.
Oh, please.
So we have a Final Cut Pro session here. We can get Synth from our effects browser, drag that onto a clip on our timeline. So Synth is architected as a pre-wired stack of grading layers. So you can see from the control panel here, we start off on our input grade, and the image is going to fall down through a selections layer, unselected, a layer called Color EQ, which we'll come back to. That's got some quite unique and special color grading tools in. Shadows, midtones, highlights, and finally an output grade layer. So depending on the complexity of the grade, you can build up quite a sophisticated approach with your grading in here. So input grade, for example, if we just look at our modifiers, we start out with color temperature, so if we need to do any corrections for incorrect white balance, anything like that, we've got a picker that we can highlight so we can actually come in on the image. We can select a white area on the image, like here, for example, and that's going to automatically correct the color temperature of the clip. We've got an exposure panel next, so if you need to correct for RGB balance, or potentially, you know, it's been shot with a overexposed or underexposed, we can dial that, and we've got control here, increase or decrease the saturation on the clip, and dial in some contrast. So those are your kind of corrective color adjustments, and then you might then want to do something a bit more creative. So we can move through to our selections layer right here, and here we've got 6 predefined color vectors. So we can go in and enable our reds color vector, for example, and then go to our qualifiers for that, and we can see a mask. So we can move to any of these 6 color vectors, and we'll have a predefined mask that we can then start to tweak. So I can move from red round towards yellows if I need to, or back around this way, change the range or the density of my mask like this to make sure we're getting a nice clean key on a particular color, and revert over to my modifiers, and then we could start to do things such as if I wanted to add a bit more saturation in those reds, or a bit more lightness in the reds, or bring them down even, then you can do that quite quickly and easily. Then we have, in the Color EQ panel, some quite common types of modifications you might want to make to remap one hue to another hue. So if I select my picker here, for example, and select the jacket of this motorcycle rider, and we can then dial across to our indicator line, which is the hue that's been detected by our picker, and then we can remap that across to, let's say, you know, we could remap it to a blue color like this, for example, and we can also change the range of affected colors with our sigma control. That's the width of our curve of the hues that are going to be affected by this transition, or we can adjust the shape of the curve as well to make it narrower or wider. And then to check our adjustment, we can toggle the layer on or off. The trees have been a bit too affected there, but you know, you get the idea.
So it's a lot more than just recording now that Codex is into.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, we're wanting to bridge that gap between the, you know, high format, high resolution on-set recording, providing the tools to take you into post-production for transcoding and archiving, and now, you know, doing your color correction, whether it be corrective color correction or, you know, something more final in terms of a grade, all within non-linear editing systems. So Final Cut is the first release for ColorSynth, and we're porting it to Premiere Pro as well. So you'll be able to use the panel and the plugin in a variety of different post environments.
Well, you're already working with every major camera manufacturer. You know, they all have Codex recorder on the back for their RAW, and this just takes it, finishes the circle.
That's the idea, yes.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.